Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Draft League draft analysis. This time I am joining Mount Silver, which is commissioned by my friend Jay, who is also in like NCL, and he participated in Waylord and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, a bunch of my friends are in this league as well, like Dom and Frost both in this league with me in the same division as me. And then like Ian and Austin and stuff in the other division. Because it's split into two divisions. So yeah, I don't have to play Ian this season. But there's still going to be plenty of tough games ahead for sure. But yeah, so this is a points-based draft league. Um, and yeah, 105 points to make maximum of 11 picks. Um, and then you get 35 points at the end to choose your um, Z move users, which like it costs the same points as your mon that you picked up to start with. Luckily, very lucky, luckily, I was first pick, so I got the choice of everything that was available. Um, and so because of that, I get I get to make the first pick, obviously, and get to choose what I think is going to be the best or something that I want to try. But then I have to wait a really long time before I get to pick again. Um, but yeah, my first pick was Tapu Koko. I haven't used Tapu Koko in Draft League at all yet. I've never really been high enough in the draft order, or there's been other things I've wanted to try more. But yeah, it's my turn to try Tapu Koko this time. Um, maybe potentially not the best pick for a first pick overall, but as I said, this is the only opportunity that I was going to be able to get it, um, because it definitely wouldn't be here by the time that uh, the picks got back around to me. But yeah, definitely happy to pick it up and give it a go. It's definitely going to be an interesting season for sure. Tapu Koko is a really good mon, so it's not like it's a bad first pick. Um, but potentially not the best, but I am definitely happy to see what I can do with it. 70 HP, um, 85 defense, 75 special defense, so not terrible bulk stats, but nothing too special. 115 attack, 95 special attack, and 130 speed. So that speed is what is Tapu Koko's best asset. Has good physical attack, but um, it doesn't have the best physical coverage. Like it's got Wild Charge and Brave Bird and stuff like that, but it doesn't get Play Rough, or like it doesn't get a physical Fairy type move, which kind of harms it on the Fairy side. So if you want to run a Fairy offensive move, it's either Nature's Madness or Dazzling Gleam, basically, and one of them is gonna do 50% of health if it hits, no matter what, and then the other one has to be special attacking Koko anyway, so it gets like U-turn and Volt Switch, which are really useful. Um, Having momentum is always nice, and I did pick up a couple of good momentum mons this turn, this league. So I overall I do like this draft that I ended up with. So you can agility as well. Not really going to need that because its speed is so good already anyway, but you never know. Um, Electric Surge is its ability, so Electric Train comes on whenever it comes in, as long as it's not already up, obviously. Um, it can use Calm Mind, which is good. That's Calm Mind Roost is a very useful Tapu Koko set as well. so I can see myself bringing that at some point. Defog, can't really see myself bringing that, but I mean, you never know when a speedy defog might be useful. But I do have other hazard removal options on my team, so I don't think defog will be coming on Tapu Koko too often, but you never know. Like, I might have a set where I don't know what else to bring and I just chuck defog on there. Could be a thing. Light screen could be useful. Um, Once again, I've got other things that can do that as well, probably that can do it better. So we'll see about that as well. Quick attack, probably still not the most useful. Doesn't get stab boost or anything like that, and Tapu Koko is so fast anyway. It's not going to need it very often. Raw, not really. Like, it's good to have phasing. Always good to have phasing. You never know when something's going to try and set up on you. I don't know if Tapu Koko is really going to be the one that's running the Raw, but it has it, so it's something you got to think about at least. And Thunderwave is obviously pretty nice as well. Slow some stuff down. But yeah, so after that, what was it? Is it a 16-man draft? Could be. I can't remember the exact number, but it's 12 to 16, somewhere around there. Yeah, after everyone's had their next two picks, all the way down to Dom, who's the bottom wheel, back wheel, then all the way back up to me, I get to make two choices, and pick up whatever I want, whatever from what is left after everyone else has had the pick of their first two rounds. And I wasn't expecting to get both of these things that I got. I was expecting at least one of them, if not both of them, to be gone by the time that draft got back to me. But I wanted to pick up some more offense, and the first half of my wheel that I got was Medicham for 15 points. 60 HP, 100 attack, 85 defense, 80 special attack, 85 special defense, and 100 speed. So middling defensive stats as well. And not a super high attack stat either, but it does get pure power, which basically doubles your attack stat. Well, it does double your attack stat. So like an adamant Mega Medicham is going to be hitting really hard. Let's just put it that way. Only base 100 speed, but I do have things that are faster that my opponent's going to have to worry about anyway. And like, this thing comes in and it has priority. It has bullet punch. It has fake out. It doesn't have a fighting type priority move as far as I know. It doesn't have Mac Punch at least. It might have whatever the special one is, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it has Baton Pass, so that there is potential momentum there, but not super likely to use. There is no stat passing, it's dry baton passing only, so you can only use it for momentum in this league. Which, I mean, I guess is fair. Does get bulk up, does get calm mind, so it can set up on either side, but I don't know if I'm really going to want to run special Mega Medicham because it doesn't get that pure power bonus. But I mean, you never know, it might be a good play in a match or two. You never know. Light screen, once again, not really going to use that on such an offensive mon. Magic coat, if I'm really worried about getting toxic or something getting webs up on me, I think that they're going to try and do it on Medicham or something like that, then, I mean, I don't think Magic Coat is going to be something I bring on Medicham, but it's there. And it could be some heat. Pain Split, once again, a cool move, but not really something that I'm probably going to use here. Power Up Punch is something that will probably come on Mega Medicham. Getting that stat boost and still doing damage is always nice. It does get Recover as well. And I can't remember if it gets Drain Punch, so if it doesn't get Drain Punch, then having that Recover is nice. I think it does get Drain Punch, why wouldn't it though? But once again, I can't remember, and I don't know why I wouldn't have put it here if I did, because I remember putting it there for something else later. Also Reflect. So maybe a bulky dual screens Mega Medicham will come at some point. That would be quite hilarious. And then there's Trick, but obviously this is a Mega Medicham, so I should have thought about that when I was writing these slides up, which I did not. But yeah, so Mega Medicham, threat, real threat. Not the fastest, but does some real damage with fake outs, and then can switch out. Then a wall comes in, and I don't know, switches out. Medicham comes back in, fakes out again. It's a nice chip. Up third, my second half of this wheel was Scolipede, 13 points. So anyone keeping track, that's 45 of my 105 points already. Yep, that's correct math there. HP 60, 100 attack, 89 defense, 55 special attack, 69 special defense, and 112 speed. So another speedy offensive threat, not the greatest of bulk, but decent attack with 100, but doesn't get that pure power boost. That would be pretty crazy. But what it does get that is crazy is speed boost. Once again, Baton Pass cannot pass stats, so speed passing is not a thing. And I do get agility as well, but I can just speed boost to get higher than agility would eventually get higher than agility would get me. I guess the same after 2 turns, which is decently easy for Scolipede to get to. So Endeavor is always useful. Sash Endeavor and get a speed pass for the finish off. Could be the players pursuit if like you want to switch this in on, or like bring this in as a revenger against something that's not going to like a pursuit, a Mew or something like that, and get some extra damage off that way. Spikes and Toxic Spikes, got some hazard there. Swords Dance, make this thing even more threatening. Swords Dance and then get a speed boost, like it. Scolipede is a big threat in that instance, and it's a very good cleaner. Break down the team with Chip from Mega Medicham, Scolipede in, get some speed boost going, and just start cleaning. Sorry about that. I am still recovering a little bit from a cold, so if I cough a couple of times, try and make sure that I turn my microphone off, but not gonna be able to 100% do that, so I'll try my hardest though. Anyway, so yeah, once again, wait a whole bunch of time, and then I get 2 more picks. I think something that I was looking at got taken, which threw my whole draft into disarray a little bit. But like there was still things that I was thinking about as well. And I knew at this point I needed to start picking up some more hazard control, so some more hazards and some more removal. So my next 2 picks, the first one of my next 2 picks was Decadua. Decadua I have used before in CCBL, and it was a pretty decent addition to my team there, so I'm happy to have it back for sure. 78 HP, 107 attack, 75 defense, 100 special attack, 100 special defense, and 70 speed. So Actually, not too bad defenses. Like on the defensive side, it's like a bit average, but the special defense is getting up there a little bit. So, um, can be built fairly tanky as well. So that's pretty nice. And it can be a mixed attacker. So it has the option to be a physical attacker or a special attacker. It does have um, stab moves on both sides, which is really nice. So yeah, pretty cool there. It does have the overgrow ability and the long reach ability. Long reach could be useful to get around things like rocky helmets and iron barbs on things like Ferrothorn or um, Garchomp and stuff like that. But overgrow can be useful too, get those extra damaging grass hits off when you start getting low on health. Either way, it's going to be a useful addition to my team because it does get that defog. Like Tapu Koko does get defog as well, as I said, but Decidueye is much more likely to run it just because it's a little bit bulkier, I believe. And it can, I think, run it more effectively just from that fact. Just from the fact that it doesn't want to be as offensive all the time. Whereas Tapu Koko is a much better offensive mon, just because of its speed and its typing. Yeah, it also gets haze, so you can stop anything setting up in front of you, which is nice. Does get light screen as well, which could be a thing. Baton pass it does have as well, so if I need some extra momentum on my team, it's there. Then, as I said, it does get nasty plot and swords dance as well, so helping out that mixed attacking that it has is always nice. It does get roost and synthesis for healing, so multiple options there. If I think my opponent's going to be running something that brings the sun, synthesis could be real useful. Shadow Sneak for some priorities, always nice. Spirit Shackle for some trapping. Tailwind for some extra speed for my team. If could be really useful for something like the Mega Medicham, which is that base 100 speed. Just give that extra little boost, and then U-turn for some actual momentum as well. Much more likely to be ran over Baton Pass, to be honest, because it does do that little bit of chip damage too, which is always nice. And yeah, so that's going to help me get into the threats that I need at the same time. Now, my second half of this, of a second four-wheel, is another starter, but this time we've got the Penguin Empoleon. So 9 points. HP 84, attack 86, 88 defense, 111 special attack, and 101 special defense with 60 speed. So a little bit slower than Decidueye, but a tiny little bit more bulky. Gets that Torrent and Defiant. Not as good of a mixed attacker, but with that Defiant, you can bring it in on a defog or something like that, and it gets that boost to the attack, which will bring it about in line with the special attack. So, like, it can still be ran either way, though a lot of the time it's going to be my defogger for sure. It's just such a good defogger, especially since it can carry stealth rocks up as well. You can defog away all hazards and then get your own stealth rocks up and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I think Empoleon's a pretty cool mon, and I'm definitely glad to get this on my team. Had it in the DSL, but like since that was randomized every week, I didn't really get to choose what I ran on this thing. But yeah, I'm glad to have it for sure. Does get agility, so if I want, I can get it speed up. Um, sorry about that. Agility weakness policy, Empoleon, sure, why not? Aquajet for some priority, defog as I said, Hone Claws for some more setup there. Knockoff, just get rid of some items. That's pretty cool. It's my first knockoff user for this draft, I think. I don't think anything else gets it. I could be wrong there, but Raw, some anti-setup once again. Phasing could be nice. Sword Stance, more setup there, which is pretty cool. So this mon can do quite a few different things, even if a lot of the time it's going to be a defogger and stealth rocker. But yeah, there's definitely other things that it can do as well, and opponents should definitely watch out for that. And yeah, so once again, waiting, waiting some more. Gets back to me again, and um, yeah, I just want to kind of spread out my speed tiers a little bit. Like I've got, well, not spread out, I guess more fill in. I've got 130 with Tapu Koko, 100 with Mega Medicham, 112 with Scolipede. Decidueye's at 70 and Empoleon's at 60. So I need something around like 80. I need something around 90. Um, maybe something 50-ish, and then maybe something like 120-ish. A couple of things around those points. Also, I wanted to get uh, a little bit more bulk just to help me tank hits for my team a bit, and also something that can pass some wishes around, which I think is going to be important. Like, sure, a few of my mons have healing that they can do themselves, like Decidueye's got Roost, and Synthesis and Tapu Koko's got Roost as well. I wanted something that can do some healing too, pass some wishes, and that was my next pick. I believe that's my next pick, which is Umbreon. Yes, it is. So 95 HP, 65 attack, 110 defense, 60 special attack, and 130 special defense with 65 speed. So slightly above Empoleon, slightly below Decidueye. So not really sorting out my speed tiers just yet, but gives me that wisher that I wanted. It gives me that extra little bit of bulk that I wanted. Breaking this thing can be really hard, as I know from experience of fighting like magic and stuff like that. So, going to be a great addition to my team, I think. Also stops like psychic types from just calm minding and mono attack psychic kind of stuff, shenanigans like you might see from like a Cresselia or that kind of jam. So that's going to be something there, just so that they can't, that they can't bring those set. They could still bring um Carmine Moonblast as the only attack, but at least then they're not getting like that stab boost and stuff. Uh, Obviously, things like Clefable and stuff like that is still something that I have to worry about. But I do have things that hopefully can deal with that. I know I have a bad track record with Clefables. I don't like playing Clefables. I always seem to go brain dead when I'm playing against them, but what can you do? Baton Pass on Umbreon here for some momentum as well if I need it, which I mean it could be real useful. Tank a hit and do a slow Baton Pass into something. It does have that synchronize ability as well. Inner Focus, not as useful. Inner Focus stops flinching, I believe. It's not the most useful ability. Synchronize, on the other hand, one of the best ways of dealing with a Umbreon is to get like a Toxic on it or something like that, and hope that it doesn't have that Heal Bell. But yeah, if anything wants to try that, if anyone wants to try that, then they'll get that status straight back at them, and then like could likely just Heal Bell it up Anyway, Foul Play is a good move to have. Anything tries to set up in front of Umbreon on the physical side, then Foul Play is going to make it regret that a little bit. Moonlight for some self-healing if I don't want to just Wish Protect. Pursuit. Umbreon's not the most physically offensive mon, but I mean, it could be useful. Get some chip or something like that. Quick Attack. Probably not going to run that on Umbreon, but once again, you never know. Reflect. Yeah, if I wanted to get a screen up, why not? Refresh. If I want to only Heal Bell myself, generally Heal Bell is better to take, but like I guess like a curse refresh set could be interesting. Sucker Punch, once again, probably not going to be the most likely bring, but it's there and it can be useful. So having that little bit of priority could be cool. And Taunt can always be useful. Stop things trying to set up in front of this as well. And then, as I said, the Wish. So pass some wishes around. It's always going to be nice. It can be tough to deal with. The second half of this wheel was it? Doesn't really matter. I'm going to the next slide, so we'll see it then. Karam, that's it. So this is my base, around about the base 90 mon, so slots in there in between like what I've got for Mega Medicham and the Decadua so far. Still want to get something around that base 80, just so there's something in between Karam and Decadua as well. But yeah, 125 HP. These I'm sorry guys. All this talking is filling my throat. But yeah, 125 HP, 130 attack, 90 defense, 130 special attack, 90 special defense, and 95 speed. So Karam's actually quite bulky, especially for such an offensive mon at the same time. Yeah, and it's another mixed attacker as well, which is always useful. You never know. Like, sure, 90% of the time it's going to be run either like straight up special attacker or like maybe 2 or 3 special moves and then like an outrage or something like that just to hit things physically as well. But it can be run straight physically as well. It's got enough coverage that it can do that. It's got things like sub roost sets that can be really good because of its natural bulk. It can still be pretty offensive and still live a hit most of the time. Get a sub up, roost in front of stuff, which is pretty cool. A great addition to the team for sure. Got that Dragon Tail if I'm afraid of something trying to set up on me too. Not a Clefable or anything like that though. Sub Roost Endeavor. Sub down against something that's slower than you. Get an Endeavor off. Why not? It's got it there, so we'll see. Light Screen, Reflect. I'm probably not going to run Screens Karam, but it's a thing. I don't know if it's like an actual thing that people do, but it has it. Can be a thing is what I'm meaning. My next wheel, I wanted to start getting stuff that can be useful with Tapu Koko's electric terrain. I didn't want to go like the basicness of Koko Lucha, so I went with Hitmonlee instead, and that's my base 80 and my base 80 mon, 87 there. 50 HP, 120 attack, 53 defense, 35 special attack, 110 special defense. So quite a lot of special defense there. 87 speed, as I said. Good attack though. HP is not the highest, so the special defense stat doesn't take the most advantage of that there. But like chucking an assault vest on this is definitely something because it gets that rapid spin. So I've got another hazard removalist here, which is good. 3 defoggers if you include Tapu Koko. I don't really, and then 1 rapid spinner so far, which is cool. And then it's got the abilities Limber, Reckless, and the reason that I drafted it for this team, Unburden. So you chuck a Electric Seed on this thing, put Tapu Koko in, Tapu Koko turns out, Volt switches out, whatever, just switches out. And then Hitmonlee comes in, Unburden, Electric Seed goes off, and then you've got a +2 speed Hitmonlee. So while that 87 speed is not the fastest, it can get pretty dang fast. Not as fast as Hawlucha gets, but I didn't want to go that basic. Because there was other mons that I wanted to get. And Hawlucha was relatively expensive if I remember correctly. Whereas this let me spread my points out a bit more. It does get bulk up. What that setup there gets Bullet Punch and Fake Out and Mac Punch for some priority. Sucker Punch as well. Knockoff can also knock off items, so that's a second knockoff for me, I believe. Power Up Punch can be useful to get that attack stat up while still doing some damage. Pursuit as well. I don't really have any of these guys being the best pursuit trappers or anything like that, but I mean, it's there, so it could come in useful at some point. Refresh, probably not the thing I'm going to run on this, but I mean, if I ever feel the need to get rid of statuses, then I might use that. Seismic Toss, just that guaranteed damage, could be useful. And Sucker Punch as well, if anything wants to be faster than this guy and I can need to get another hit off, then that could be a thing to do. But if I was going to do that, a lot of priority that I would take would be Bullet Punch or Mac Punch anyway, so we'll see. But yeah, a great addition to the team here. I feel like they're going to take advantage of that Tapu Koko terrain pretty well, I am hoping. The second half of this was Claydol. There we go. So I picked up 2 rapid spinners at once. But yeah, that's cool. So this is my second rapid spinner, another Stealth Rock setter. So I've got Stealth Rocks on the Empoleon and the Claydol at the moment. So 2 Stealth Rockers. And then I got the Toxic Spikes and the Scolipede. I believe that's all the hazard setting I drafted. Hopefully it's all I need. Some reliable Stealth Rock setters anyway with Claydol and Empoleon, so not too worried about that. 60 HP, 70 attack, 105 defense, 70 special attack, and 120 special defense with 75 speed. So this is another thing sitting around the same speed as Decadua. Gets that levitate so it can avoid those ground type moves. Not that it's weak to them or anything, but it's always good having options like that. Especially when you've got like the Tapu Koko that's not gonna like ground type moves, Empoleon that's not gonna like ground type moves. Having things like the Decadua and the Claydol that are gonna be able to help with that is nice. And Scolipede, which is bug type, is still neutral to it because it's half poison too. So just helping those things out, being able to deal with those ground type moves is always going to be useful. Does get Calm Mind, so I can set up that way if I want. Light Screen, I don't think it gets Reflect. I didn't see it in the moves list, but I could have just missed it. Never know. Something trying to chuck a toxic on this is also quite likely. So magic coat could come in useful there. Or if I feel like my opponent's going to want to try and set up, like, I don't know, webs or their own stealth rocks or something in front of me, I can click magic coat instead of setting up my own rocks and stuff. So yeah, who knows. It does get that rock polish too. So if I wanted to try and make this an offensive threat, then I could try. Also trick and trick room. So it could trick a scarf onto something. Could run it slow and then run trick room. Could be useful. Though my team is quite speedy, so I don't know how useful trick room will actually be. I don't know. There's things that could make it work. And now my last wheel was coming up after this. There's still a couple of mons that I'm looking at. I need a fire type. I need a I don't know. I've got most of my types covered at this point, I think. I don't have like I don't have a rock type. I don't have a fire type. Can't think of any other types that I was missing. Normal maybe. But yeah, I think I've covered most of my types at this point. So I was looking for things that's just gonna help my team a little bit. I did end up picking a fire type. Not that I really think fire types are super important. There's other things that I feel like that can like hit the things that hits just as well, if not better. I don't think fire types are necessary in a draft. Like, um, ground types hit steel, fighting types hit steel, ice types hit grass, um, flying types hit grass, flying types hit bug. I feel like they're more important typings to get um, than a fire type. But, I mean, I didn't get a flying type at this point either. I don't think I actually picked one up at all. So it's probably good that I did get a fire type, but yeah. The fire type I did decide to pick up is Mortar. It was a nice, cheap one that fit my team decently well, I think. It's got a little bit of bulk to it, 75 HP, not on the defensive side that much, but 75 HP with the 95 special defense down there is not terrible. Sitting around that 83 speed as well. Jesus Christ, my throat is killing me with all this talking. I'm trying to drink water and like just to help it, but I just keep coughing. Um, but yeah, 125 special attack is pretty cool. 95 attack, not as great, but it does get like belly drum, which is interesting, and some it has good coverage on physical and special side as well. So I think it's gonna be a nice, cheap fire type to add to my team. Not unhappy about getting it at all. Flame body could be useful. Try and catch U-turner or something with that. Could be cool. Vital Spirit, not so cool, but I mean, Flame Body is all it really needs, to be honest. I was saying to myself the other day that it should get, look at those arms, it should get Mega Launcher as an ability, but like, it doesn't really get the moves that would be able to take advantage of that. There should be more moves that Mega Launcher can take advantage of, to be honest, but that's just my opinion. It does get Clear Smog, so it can stop things from setting up in front of it as well if it needs to. Mach Punch, Power Up Punch, and Seismic Toss. Mach Punch is a little bit of priority there. Cool to have. Um, could be cool with the Belly Drum Mach Punch set or something like that. Taunt can stop things from statusing in front of you, which is pretty cool. Blow Wisp, stop things, physical things doing as much damage, etc. Chip down some stuff that way. Yeah, not a lot to say about this mon, but I think it's going to be a good addition. Definitely going to have its uses for sure. Then my last pick, the second half of this wheel, my last pick of the draft was Sceptile. So this is that 120 speed mon I was talking about that slots in there between the Scolipede and the Tapu Koko. 70 HP, 85 attack, 65 defense, special attack is 105, and 85 special defense. So once again, middling defenses, okay special attack, average attack, but it does get that unburden as well, same as the Hitmonlee. So I've got two unburden users to take advantage of my Tapu Koko's terrain. So definitely hoping to put in some work with that. And Sceptile does get Sword Stance and Drain Punch, Power Up Punch, Hone Claws. That does get agility as well, but if I'm going to be using Tapu Koko's terrain anyway, then probably not really going to need that as much. Does get Pursuit too, does get Synthesis, so it can heal itself. Roar can phase, but Drain Punch can heal itself that way, which is pretty cool. Sword Stance can get its damage output up as well. So going to be a good addition to the team, and glad I managed to pick it up as my last pick for sure. But yeah, so 35 points for Z users. I did give my Z move abilities to Tapu Koko, Scolipede, and Mortar. Mortar at that point was the only thing left that I had enough points for that was worth it after giving Z move potential to Tapu Koko and Scolipede. Both really good Z users. It allows Scolipede to break something a lot easier without necessarily having to set up a sword stance of its own. And even if I do manage to set up a sword stance, that would be even better. Tapu Koko, a good Z user as well. And then Mortar actually has decent coverage, and it can use Z moves pretty well as well. So like it could be like a Z Sunny Day set just to give it that speed boost, and then hit real hard with a fire move in the sun. Yeah, so there's potential with those mons all having Z moves. And like I didn't want to give it to Hitmonlee or Sceptile because having them have Unburden is going to be more useful. Umbreon's going to want leftovers. Karam, I feel like, is better with a choice item or like sub-roost leftovers, something like that. Anyway, Claydol, yeah, isn't really going to be running a Z move. Empoleon, nah, not really either. Decadua could have potentially been a good Z user as well. It does have some nice tech. And it's got like Decidium Z as well and stuff like that, I believe. So that was also what I was looking at. But I think giving my Z moves to Scolipede and Tapu Koko and then just chucking it on Mortar for the last 5 points was the best way I could have gone about it. But yeah, so that's my team for the Mount Silver Draft League. I do intend on continuously recording this league as well. Obviously, I wouldn't really be recording a draft analysis if I wasn't intending on it. But yeah, that's how it is. And yeah, so that's my draft. Let me know what you think if you've watched this far. Yeah, and thanks for watching if you have. So I will catch you all for whenever these matches start going up. Peace.